Anybody has phones, please mute them.
Please do a mic testing once, Professor Ganguly. I think let whoever is going to speak should test it out once.
So you can hear me, right? First of all.
Hear you, but not very clear, very faint.
Now, can you hear now?
Better.
So, Krishna. Okay, is my voice clear?
Yeah,
Am I audible?
coming from a distance. So, Professor Dubey, are you able to hear them well? You are muted, Professor. You need to unmute yourself, Professor Dubey.
Can you hear me, Professor Dubey? So we're waiting for Secretary Dr. Rajivan to join. As soon as he joins, we can start the proceedings. Everybody else to speak on something.
Your voice is not clear.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but not as clear as what one would have liked.
Yeah, good afternoon,
Dr.
sir.
Rajivan is here.
Yeah,
Hello,
good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon. So Dubey Saab also is there.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Where is Professor Achyuta Rao? Oh,
I hope I'm visible.
yeah, you are visible. But nobody is there on the side.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rajivan. This is Ashok Ganguly here.
They are all in Sonipat, Dr. Rajivan. I was supposed to go there, but then I had a COVID problem. So I am now house quarantined. So
You are positive, COVID positive.
yeah. That's what it is.
That's okay. That's okay.
It happened last night, so I am now at home.
Okay.
It's still asymptomatic, but I think I am.
But still, you please take care. Be careful.
There is more of a psychological fear than anything else, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true.
With your permission, should we start now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. N. Rajivan, Secretary, Ministry of Art Sciences, Professor V. Ramgopal Rao, Director, IIT Delhi, Professor Ashok Ganguly, Deputy Director, Strategy and Planning, IIT Delhi, colleagues from various research and academic institutions, colleagues from IIT Delhi, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of you. We have gathered today to break ground for a new state-of-the-art atmospheric observatory at the IIT Delhi Sonipat Campus. We are honored to have Dr. Rajivan as chief guest and Professor V. Ramgopal Rao presiding over the ceremony virtually. On behalf of the Center for Atmospheric Sciences IIT Delhi, I request our head Professor Krishna Achita Rao to formally welcome the dignitaries and give a brief overview of the atmospheric observatory.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Respected Dr. Rajivan, Professor Ramgopal Rao, Professor Dubey, colleagues, friends, and students who are watching this from country. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this semi-online ceremony to break ground for this new atmospheric observatory that we have planned for the IIT Delhi Sonipat Campus. This has been a combined effort. It has been part of our goals for a few years, and finally we have come to a point where we have some seed funding from the Indian Institute of Technology Delhi and space at the campus in order for us to get started on this very important endeavor. So I welcome you all to this groundbreaking ceremony, and I take this opportunity to give a brief overview of what we are planning here. So the Center for Atmospheric Sciences was founded in 1979, and since then, the center has been one of the few institutions across the country that has been engaged in research and offering degree programs till recently. And our main trust in all these years has been more or less the modeling side of things. But recently we've developed these concepts of trying to expand our scope and in order to not just strengthen the capabilities within the CAS, but also for strengthening national capabilities. So we need to improve our observational capabilities mainly for these three reasons. These to enable new discoveries, enhance the climate and weather and air pollution models that we work with, and to enable better informed decision making, because a lot of the information that we currently use comes more or less from models, and we need better grounding in observations that we have on the ground. So as part of this, we So as part of this Sonipat Observatory concept, where we think of this as creating a testbed facility for atmospheric measurements that will be open for researchers from across the country, for developing instrumentation technologies, measurement techniques, using data to improve models, and to create new satellite retrieval algorithms and things of that nature. It is not just an observation site, but it is going to be a super site where people can use the facility to actually test out new ways of observing and to improve the existing ways of observing. So, Sonipat campus is actually an ideal location because it's northwest of Delhi, sort of upwind of the locations from the Middle East and Pakistan and states to the northwest of Delhi, from where our prevailing winds usually are, and especially during the episodic pollution events, etc. So we thought that this site was the perfect location for us. We intend to, when this facility is fully built out, include many kinds of instruments, the air pollution measurement being a primary set of measurements. And this is just an indicative set of instruments that I've included on this slide. But more importantly, what we intend to achieve is continuous monitoring, be able to apportion, source apportionment in real time, generate India-specific dose response functions for health impacts, and to be able to do cutting-edge research on atmospheric chemistry and by characterizing pollution in the entire atmospheric column. We also want to include a full suite of meteorological radiation and cloud observations. And Met Tower is one of the primary first priorities we are placing, in addition to radiation measurements and regular meteorological variables. Eventually, we will hope to have cloud radars and wind profiler radars, etc. We also want to make this a place where one actually provides a synergy between both satellite-based and ground-based measurements of cloud objects. So again, here's an indicative list of instruments that we plan to have installed here. And we will also be making routine greenhouse gas monitoring observations. And in the Indo-Gangetic Plain, this will be one of the unique measuring sites when we are online. And that goes not just for the greenhouse gas measurement, but also for the meteorological air pollution measurement. And we would hope to also have a satellite ground station that will enable us to actually calibrate or develop these retrieval algorithms in better manner. So we are beginning, we have seed funding, we will be raising additional funding and building partnerships with other organizations, both within India and abroad, so that measurements that are made elsewhere by different organizations can also be made here in this facility. So this is going to be an ongoing exercise, and we look forward to developing those partnerships and relationships soon. So with this brief overview, I'm going to welcome you all once again to this brief groundbreaking ceremony. I now hand it back to Professor Savane.
Thank you, Professor Achutala. Now we invite our Deputy Director, Strategy and Planning, Professor Ashok Ganguly, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rajivan, Professor Ram Gopal Rao, Professor Shishir Dubey, Professor Shishna, head of the department, and faculty members and students assembled here at the Sonipat campus. It's a great occasion that the Center for Atmospheric Sciences is coming up with an observatory at the Sonipat campus. So, and we are very happy that this is happening as an initiative by the director for the IOE related activities. So the institute has funded several departments And this is one of the areas which we are very proud of, will take off and make a mark. And we can look back maybe later in 10, 20 years that this is a definite move by IIT Delhi, which made use of the nice proposal which there was a committee which looked at the proposal and considered that it should be funded, and a seed fund has been provided to the Center for Atmospheric Sciences. And also IIT Delhi having available land at Sonipat, this was a very good idea to build because they need a lot of empty space to do the measurements in the observatory. So I am very happy and thankful to the head who have taken the initiative and the faculty colleagues. I believe there are 2 or 3 experts in observatory related atmospheric sciences, and I hope they will hire also new faculty. And at Sonipat campus, we also have Sati and ITech. So together, I think it will be very nice, and you can also interact with other universities around Sonipat which has come up and which may have some strength in physics or astrophysics, which may be useful to build it. So with that, with those few observations, my congratulations to the department, and I hope it will be a very successful endeavor. And I think our best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ganguly, for the kind words. I now request our director, Professor V. Ramgopal Rao, to give his address.
Thank you very much, Professor Day and Dr. Madhavan Rajivan. Thank you very much for taking time to be with us, sir. I think we are honored by your presence, and of course, all our distinguished colleagues who are joining us online, Professor Shishir Dubey and many others. So thank you very much. This is indeed, something that our CAS has come up with, Center for Atmospheric Sciences. This activity is seed funded from our Institutions of Eminence scheme, and so they are initiating this activity. The total funding for the facility, once the facility comes up, we are looking at a 125 crore kind of a facility in the Sonipat campus. So as you all know, we have 2 campuses actually, 2 extension campuses, one in Sonipat, the other one is in Jajjar. The Sonipat campus, we have already invested quite a bit of money. There are many facilities in Sonipat. We are next to Ashoka University, and Sonipat, there we have all our central research facilities getting established, and whatever high-end facility that one would require for research, they will all be available in the Sonipat. So as part of this initiative, the Atmospheric Observatory Laboratory, the facility with CAS is also coming up. And so I think now that we have seed funded and the work has started, we would definitely need help of ministry and industries and alumni and everyone else to take this initiative forward and to realize the dream of setting up a full-fledged atmospheric observatory facility in the Sonipat campus. As Professor Krishna Achyutarao, head Center for Atmospheric Sciences, mentioned, so this observatory in the Sonipat will be equipped with many state-of-the-art equipment such as radars, lidars, mass spectrometers, and a satellite ground station. In fact, we have signed an agreement with ISRO, and there are at least a dozen projects now at IIT Delhi which are funded by ISRO. So that very close collaboration exists between IIT Delhi and ISRO as well. And as part of this work, the ground-based and satellite observations of greenhouse gases and other pollutants, which will help us understand how the pollutants are formed and transported, how they affect the air quality, the extreme weather and global warming studies. So some of these sort of studies can be undertaken here. This facility will also help us to build better models to predict air quality, make more accurate forecasts of the monsoon, extreme weather, and severe pollution events. And for that, we need to collect a lot of data. As our Honorable Prime Minister always mentions, the science is global, but technologies are local. I think when you are talking of atmospheric sciences, nothing can be more important than that statement. I think we need local models to predict our weather conditions. So there are going to be many facilities for continuous and long-term monitoring of and also get precise estimates of trends and better understand even the impacts of policy interventions, based on the data. I think that also is something that this observatory will carry out. So we have very ambitious kind of programs for Sonipat. IIT Delhi that way has been very environmentally conscious. We have initiated many activities now, more from the environment point of view. In fact, as a campus now, we are trying to reduce our carbon footprint by almost 50% through policy interventions, sometimes through technology interventions. All the waste is getting recycled at IIT Delhi, and we are now to the landfills. Our contribution is pretty less in terms of the transportation of waste now. So much of it is getting done or recycled in the campus itself. All water we are recycling. We have also established this Center for Automotive Research and Tribology, CART. Now CART has a very ambitious electric vehicle program, and they have already been working with many startups, and in fact one startup product we recently launched as part of that. We are also fortunate to have many of our alumni contributing to these initiatives. We have a Center of Excellence for Research on Clean Air, which is funded by one of our alumni, Mr. Arun Dugal. And in fact, Mr. Dugal has been connecting us with various stakeholders and other alumni. So this activity also is taking shape. Our, of course, Center for Atmospheric Sciences is one of the top ranked centers in the country, and we have also expanded their footprint now by recruiting more faculty members. I think with all of this happening, IIT Delhi wants to be at the center space when it comes to studying the environmental issues. And I think this observatory is one of the steps in that direction. And I think with all of you present with us on this momentous occasion, we hope this activity will go forward, and we will all reap the benefits of it as a country out of whatever activity that we carry out there. So thank you very much for being with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ramgopal Rao, for your encouraging words. We surely will try our level best to meet the expectations. It is now an absolute honor to introduce our chief guest today, Dr. N. Rajivan, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, and Chairman, Earth System Science Organization and Art Commission. Dr. Rajivan is a well-known meteorologist who earlier served as the director of the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, and held important positions at the National Atmospheric Research Laboratory, Galamki, IIT Pune, and Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, before taking over the Ministry of Earth Science as Secretary. He has contributed immensely to the development of long-range prediction models for the Indian monsoon, cricket climate datasets, and various other tools for climate services and societal applications. Dr. Rajivan is a fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences, the Indian National Science Academy, and the National Science Academy of India. He is a member of the International Academy of Astronautics and a high-level advisor on climate services and expert member of the research board of the World Meteorological Organization. He is the chairman of the Board of Governors of IISER Thiruvananthapuram and the chairman of the Council of Regional Integrated Multi-Hazard Early Warning System for Africa and Asia. So with this brief introduction, it's a pleasure to invite Dr. Rajivan to virtually unveil the signboard of the observatory and then address the gallery.
Okay, so you want me to address now? You want me to address now, or the inauguration? What do you want now?
We will have you inaugurate the inaugurate the board first, and then
Okay, so the board will come. Okay.
board will come, and we will
Okay.
do control, and
I can click this.
you'll have to click the So now you have been given control. If you can accept, you have to go full screen. Full screen, please. So, just take back control.
I think it's not working. I don't know. Press system control.
Our apologies. What we will do is we will bring.
I think you can just come over. This is the PowerPoint presentation only. Okay. You can show it in a slide. Yeah.
Now can you press the button? Sarvesh, you can press it. That's right. You can, when I tell you, then you can click the red button. Dr. Rajivan, just please go ahead and ask us to inaugurate.
Okay, I think you can click it. You can inaugurate.
Okay, thank you. Please click it now. Click the red button now.
It has come.
Yeah, Doctor, I now invite you to give the address.
Thank you. So you can remove this slide. Yeah. So good afternoon, all of you. Professor Ram Gopal Rao, Director, IIT Delhi, Professor S.K. Dubey Saab, Dr. Professor Achyuta Rao, distinguished faculty and my colleagues from Center for Atmospheric Science IIT Delhi. First of all, my hearty congratulations to all of you for going ahead with this Center for Atmospheric Science Atmospheric Observatory in Sonipat. As Professor Ram Gopal Rao was saying that it is very important initiative which IIT Delhi has taken over, and I appreciate that CAS has really started this new initiative of setting up atmospheric observatories. As all of us know that atmospheric observations are very useful in many ways. One is for, of course, for putting us initial conditions in the weather predictions model for generating forecasts, warnings, etc. And also these observations are very useful for process studies to understand the physical mechanism, physical process in the atmosphere. And if you have more observation for process studies, we can understand the physical process better, and that can be also used for improving model parameterization in the weather prediction models. And the same observations can be also used for model verifications. Many times, our model verifications are basically whether the model is predicting rainfall correctly, whether the model is predicting temperature correctly. But we go very hardly, we go beyond the basic parameters like temperature, humidity, rainfall verification. But what we need to really do is also the verification of physical process in the model, and whether the models are really reproducing the physical process. For example, the surface heat fluxes, the cumulus schemes, the condensation process, the radiative processes, and the turbulent process in the surface. all these processes are physical processes are being well simulated or not. We don't go, mainly because we don't have such kind of observations mainly to see. And so this kind of observations will be very useful. And the Sonipat, as you have correctly told, it is in the right path, and especially in winter season, so that all wind directions are from northwest. And we have a perennial problem of air pollution issues over Delhi region. So this observatory and observations will be very useful to understand how this Delhi air pollution is really happening. And we also have an issue of the agriculture crop burning from the fields from Punjab and Haryana. So all these observations will be very useful. And you may be aware that India, Ministry of Air Science also has a few such kind of observatories. One is in IIT has set up an observatory in Mahabaleshwar. It is at about 1.5 kilometer above sea level. That works like a high altitude cloud observatory. You need not really go to the clouds. And the clouds normally in the monsoon season forms in the valleys and come across this observatory. So physically, it is very easy for clouds will come to us. We need not go to clouds. It just passes through the observatory, and we get a lot of good observations. And another one is, of course, last 3-4 years we have been doing the experiment called WIFUX, basically to understand the air pollution as well as the fog, in the Delhi airport. And so the Sonipat observations will be very useful for our fog prediction scheme, which we are trying to develop now. And I'm very sure that MOES and IIT Delhi will work together, especially on this kind of aspects. And we have now started a new initiative, establishing two initiatives. One is establishing a research test bed in Bhopal. Bhopal is a central place, and all these monsoon depressions, lows, and all forming over Bay of Bengal moves across the central India. That is an ideal place to put an observatory, very large observatory, to understand the cloud processes in the monsoon clouds. And thanks to Madhya Pradesh government, we have got 100 acres of land, and we have just started putting our observation. First C-band radar has been already put, and the installation is going on, and we will be expanding. This will be a truly international kind of world-class observatory, which is in similar line with, you may be aware about the AM, atmospheric radiation measurement, ARM observatories of US. The same kind of philosophy we are trying to follow, and it will be a huge observational network will be setting up at Bhopal, which of course our data will be shared with all of you, and you can make use of that. Another one recent initiative which is with the ISRO we are trying to do is the thunderstorm test bed. As all of you know, that thunderstorm and lightning is an important weather phenomena over this region. So we are going to set up an observatory, the thunderstorm observatory over Odisha. And within collaboration with the DRDO, they have a rocket launching, missile launching center in Odisha, close to coast, and we are given a small area, about a few acres. So we will be setting up in collaboration with ISRO research test bed for exclusively to understand the thunderstorm dynamics and as well as genesis. So such kind of initiatives are really good, and is required, especially to understand more about the monsoon physical processes in this area. And so once again, congratulations, Professor Ram Gopal Rao and Professor Achyuta Rao for establishing this observatory. And as a Secretary of MOES, I assure you full support from our side. Both technically and also in collaboration with the scientists, MOES scientists, and also if you really need some kind of financial support from MOES, we'll be happy to consider and support you. And wish you all the best, do well. And only my request is this data are to be shared. The data sharing policy you should have. I am also, of course, there is a lot of reluctance even from our scientists. So I am really requesting every day, I'm pampering them that once you collect the data, you can use it for probably 1 year, 2 years for your research papers. But once your deadline or timeline is over, please share with the community, research community, people, because it's setting up this observatories, getting data is very difficult. So normal university students may not have an access to this data. They can do wonderful research. So you please have a policy of data sharing policy from the Sonipat Observatory. May not be immediately, but at least for after 2 years, you should start sharing with this data, which we will be implementing very soon. MOES, we are bringing a data policy, sharing policy from MOES, we'll be sharing all the data which we are collecting at least after 2 years. So that's a policy which we are trying to bring. You also please seriously consider to bring the policy. With this, I'll stop here, and thank you very much for inviting me for this opportunity and giving me this opportunity, and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
We will certainly make the data open. This is one of the goals that we have set for ourselves. Thank you for reiterating that will happen.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajivan, for your encouragement, support, and guidance. So, Center for Atmospheric Science looks forward to working with the ministry more closely on this observation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, request my colleague, Professor Dilip Ganguly, to propose the vote of.
Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Dr. M. Rajivan, Director IIT Delhi, respected Professor Ram Gopal Rao, Deputy Director IIT Delhi, respected Professor Ashok Ganguly, Head CAS, respected Professor Krishna Rao, our most valued invited guests present here physically, and all those who have joined us online, faculty colleagues from the Institute, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of Center for Atmospheric Sciences and IIT Delhi, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our Chief Guest, Honorable Secretary, Minister of Earth Sciences, Dr. M. Rajivan, for taking time out of his busy schedule and agreeing to be with us virtually today and breaking the ground for the Center for Atmospheric Sciences Atmospheric Observatory in this IIT Delhi Sonipat Campus, and being a strong supporter of CAS and all its activities in all forums. Thank you very much, sir. Next, on behalf of all my colleagues from Center for Atmospheric Sciences, I express our sincere thanks to Director IIT Delhi, respected Professor Ram Gopal Rao, for championing the cause of CAS and all its initiatives within the institute as well as outside. I would also like to express our sincere thanks to Deputy Director IIT Delhi, respected Professor Ashok Ganguly, and all the members of the IOE committee for ranking the COS proposal for building an atmospheric observatory in this Sonipat campus and providing the necessary land and the seed plan required for setting up this observatory in this Sonipat campus. I also express my gratitude to our Dean Infra, Professor Iyer, faculty in charge of Sonipat campus, Professor Saroha, our institute engineer, Mr. Mukesh Khandelwal, for helping us to get the observatory site ready for this groundbreaking ceremony. Further, we are grateful to MD FIT, Dr. Wali, and his team for extending all the possible support towards organizing this event in our Sonipat campus. In fact, we would like to express our very special thanks to Dr. Vivek Sharma and the FIT staff present here in this campus for enabling us to organize this groundbreaking ceremony. I would also like to thank our Chief Security Officer, Mr. Sandeep Sharma, for helping us to get the observatory site ready and arranging our transport from the IIT Delhi main campus to the Sonipat campus. Lastly, I express my sincere thanks to all the CAS office staff and special kudos to Sandeep Kumar for working very hard behind the scenes towards making this groundbreaking ceremony a successful event. So I thank you all again for joining us for this groundbreaking ceremony of the CAS Atmospheric Observatory in this IIT Delhi Sonipat campus. And with this, I invite those of us who are present here for a high tea outside this hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Professor Dubey, Professor Robi Sharma, Professor Venkatesh, thank you all for joining us and supporting us.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody else online.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming all the way to support us.